How keeping calm can lead you to success. Have you ever felt like you're constantly pushing against the tide? You work harder, plan meticulously, try to control every variable, yet the world seems to delight in throwing your carefully constructed plans into disarray. The harder you fight for order, the more chaotic life feels. It's an exhausting loop, leaving you feeling powerless and adrift. But what if there was a different way? What if the key to navigating life's inevitable storms wasn't through brute force control, but through cultivating an unshakable inner calm? What if this calm wasn't just a feeling, but a profound source of strength, clarity, and effectiveness? For over 2,000 years, a powerful philosophy has offered a path to this inner resilience. It's called Stoicism, and it teaches that while we can't control the events that happen to us, we possess absolute power over something far more important: our response. In the next moments, we're going to uncover 11 timeless Stoic lessons that reveal how to cultivate this potent calm. These aren't pretty words. They are battle-tested strategies for mastering your mind and using composure as your ultimate advantage. We put a lot of hours into this animated video, so if you want to support our new channel, please like this video, subscribe, and push the notification bell so you don't miss our new videos. Let's begin. 1. Calm is your power. Think of a seasoned captain navigating a stormy sea. Waves crash, the ship lurches, the wind howls. A novice might panic, gripping the wheel frantically, making impulsive, dangerous decisions. But the experienced captain stands firm, eyes clear, making calculated adjustments, reading the waves, and guiding the ship through the tempest. The storm is the same, but the captain's internal state makes all the difference. Calm is not the absence of difficulty, it is the presence of mental clarity and stability amidst the difficulty. In life's storms, when problems hit, deadlines loom, or conflicts erupt, our natural inclination is often to enter a state of high alert, the mental equivalent of frantic gripping. Our hearts race, our thoughts scatter, and our actions become reactive rather than intentional. This is precisely when we are most likely to make mistakes, say things we regret, and lose control of the situation. The great Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius understood this power intrinsically. Ruling an empire facing wars, plagues, and internal strife, he knew that his effectiveness wasn't just in issuing commands, but in maintaining his composure and clarity of thought under immense pressure. His personal writings, the Meditations, are a constant exercise in training his mind to remain calm yet determined. He recognized that his judgment, the core of his leadership, was only sound when his mind was quiet enough to reason effectively. Modern psychology and neuroscience echo this ancient wisdom. When stress takes over, the primitive parts of our brain hijack our decision-making processes. We operate from fear and impulse. But when we access a state of calm, we engage the higher functions of the brain, the parts responsible for logic, problem-solving, empathy, and foresight. This allows us to see options we missed in panic, communicate more effectively, and make choices aligned with our long-term goals and values. Cultivating calm isn't about suppressing your emotions or pretending problems don't exist. It's about developing the capacity to feel the intensity of life's challenges without letting them overwhelm your ability to think and act deliberately. It's about becoming the seasoned captain of your own ship, capable of navigating any waters. 2. Control only yourself. Consider how much of your mental energy is consumed by things outside your direct influence. You worry about the economy, the weather, other people's opinions, past events, or future possibilities you can't predict. It's like standing in a hurricane and trying to push the wind back with your bare hands, utterly futile and completely exhausting. The Stoics called this the dichotomy of control, a fundamental principle articulated most clearly by Epictetus. He taught that some things are up to us, our thoughts, judgments, desires, actions, and some things are not up to us, our bodies, possessions, reputation, other people, external events. Attaching our peace of mind or happiness to things not in our control is, Epictetus argued, the direct path to suffering. We chafe against this reality because we crave security. We mistakenly believe that if we could just control the external world, make others behave as we wish, ensure perfect outcomes, prevent anything bad from ever happening, then we would finally feel safe and happy. But this is an illusion. The external world is inherently unpredictable and beyond our command. Our attempt to force it into submission creates tension, frustration, and anxiety. True freedom and calm come from focusing your energy where it actually has power, on yourself. You cannot control how someone speaks to you, but you can control how you choose to interpret their words and how you respond. You cannot control whether your project is successful in the market, but you can control the quality of your effort, your preparation, and your willingness to learn from the outcome. This is not a philosophy of passive resignation, but of radical empowerment. By accepting what you cannot change, you free up the energy that was wasted in futile struggle. You direct that energy towards refining your character, clarifying your values, making wise decisions, and taking effective action within your own sphere. This internal focus is the source of an unshakable calm, because your peace is no longer dependent on the volatile external world. Did you know that if you are currently watching this video, you are probably a visual learner? Before we get into the next part, wouldn't it be better if you had an app specially designed for visual learners like you? That's exactly what Bookwatch offers. We have animated book summaries of the best non-fiction and Stoicism books like The Daily Stoic, The Obstacle is the Way, and many more. You can watch animated videos like the one you are currently watching and also ask our AI how to specifically apply each book to your life. Check out the Bookwatch app in the first link in the description below. Now, let's continue. 3. Practice gratitude first. Our minds possess a natural negativity bias. It's an evolutionary hangover that made us highly attuned to potential threats, constantly scanning the environment for what could go wrong. While useful for survival in the wild, in modern life, it often translates into a perpetual state of dissatisfaction, focusing on what's missing, what's wrong, or what could be better. We take the good for granted and amplify the bad. This ingrained tendency to focus on lack is a thief of calm. We believe that happiness lies in acquiring more money, more possessions, more achievements, a different situation. But Seneca, the wealthy Roman statesman and Stoic playwright, observed that it is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor. Contentment, he argued, wasn't about adding more to your life, but about appreciating what you already possess. Gratitude is the active countermeasure to the negativity bias and the trap of perpetual craving. It's a deliberate practice of shifting your attention from what is lacking to what is present, from problems to blessings, from potential threats to existing resources. It trains your brain to see the good that is often obscured by the noise of worry and complaint. Even in the depths of suffering, there are often things to be grateful for. Stockdale in prison found gratitude in the solidarity of fellow prisoners, in his own unbroken will, in the memories of his family. These weren't grand circumstances, but they were anchors in the storm. Regularly practicing gratitude changes your perspective and rewires your brain over time. It cultivates a more positive outlook, builds resilience by reminding you of your internal and external resources, and reduces the intensity of negative emotions. It shifts your focus from the anxiety of not enough to the peace of already have. 4. Train your thinking. Our thoughts are not simply reflections of reality, they are interpretations that actively create our experience of reality. The Stoics understood this profound truth. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." He saw that the quality of his life was directly determined by the quality of his thoughts. When something happens, a colleague makes a comment, a plan falls apart, you face a setback. The event itself is neutral. It is our internal dialogue, the story we tell ourselves about the event, that gives it meaning and triggers our emotional response. If your automatic thought is, "This is a disaster," you will feel panic. If your thought is, "This is a challenge I can learn from," you will feel a sense of determination. We often allow our minds to run on autopilot, accepting every fearful projection or negative judgment as undeniable truth. This unchecked thinking becomes a source of constant internal turbulence, stealing our calm and limiting our potential. Training your thinking means becoming the conscious editor of your inner narrative. It requires noticing your automatic thoughts, questioning their validity, and actively choosing more helpful or accurate interpretations. It's about recognizing that while you can't always prevent a thought from arising, you can choose whether or not to believe it and dwell on it. This mental discipline isn't about deluding yourself with false positivity. It's about gaining perspective, finding alternative viewpoints, and directing your mental energy towards constructive reasoning rather than destructive rumination. It's about aligning your thoughts with reality and with your values, thereby cultivating a more stable and empowered internal state. 5. Where attention goes. Our attention is like a spotlight on the stage of reality. Out of the infinite details available, the few things illuminated by our attention are what form our conscious experience. If your spotlight is constantly scanning for problems, injustices, or fears, your world will feel overwhelming and negative. If you direct that spotlight towards opportunities, solutions, and moments of connection, your world will transform accordingly. Epictetus instructed his students to focus their attention on what is truly their own, their intentions, their efforts, their character, and to be clear about what belongs to others. Lesson 2, connection. But beyond the dichotomy of control, he also understood that our attention shapes our perception itself. Keep your attention fixed on the present situation, he would imply through his teachings, focusing on the task at hand rather than being distracted by external noise or internal chatter. In our modern age, our attention is perhaps our most besieged resource. Notifications ping, headlines scream for our outrage, and endless feeds scroll by, each competing for that precious spotlight. This constant fragmentation of attention leaves us feeling scattered, stressed, and unable to engage deeply with anything. It fuels anxiety because our minds are everywhere at once, except fully here. Mastering your attention is fundamental to cultivating calm and achieving focus. It allows you to choose what you feed your mind, to resist irrelevant distractions, and to fully engage with the task or person in front of you. It's the difference between being swept along by the river of stimuli and choosing which bank you want to walk upon. By consciously directing your attention away from the noise and towards what is meaningful, actionable, and aligned with your goals, you reclaim agency over your mental landscape. This focused presence is a powerful antidote to the feeling of being overwhelmed and lays the groundwork for clear thinking and effective action. 6. Rest is not weakness. In a culture that celebrates perpetual motion and equates exhaustion with dedication, the idea of rest can feel counterintuitive, even like a moral failing. We push through fatigue, sacrifice sleep, and wear busyness as a badge of honor, believing that success requires maximum output at all times. This mindset is a fast track to burnout, depleted resources, and a frayed nervous system. A mind deprived of rest is not a productive mind, it's a struggling mind. It makes poor decisions, lacks creativity, suffers from impaired memory and focus, and is highly susceptible to irritability and stress. The Stoics, despite their emphasis on duty and effort, recognize the vital importance of renewal. Seneca used the analogy of the bow. A bow kept constantly taut will lose its spring. It needs to be unstrung periodically to retain its tension and effectiveness. Similarly, the mind needs periods of rest and relaxation to regain its strength and sharpness. He viewed such periods not as laziness, but as essential preparation for future exertion. Rest is not a luxury or a reward earned after relentless toil. It is a fundamental human need and a strategic component of sustained high performance and well-being. Sleep allows for crucial cognitive restoration. Breaks during the day prevent mental fatigue and allow for shifts in perspective. Genuine leisure activities replenish our emotional and creative reserves. Ignoring the need for rest is self-sabotage. It diminishes your capacity to handle challenges with calm, clarity, and resilience. Prioritizing rest is an act of self-respect and a wise investment in your long-term ability to thrive in a demanding world. 7. Own your morning. How you begin your day profoundly influences its trajectory. Do you wake to the jarring sound of an alarm and immediately plunge into the demands of the outside world, checking emails, scrolling news headlines, reacting to notifications? This reactive start often sets a tone of urgency and stress, immediately placing you in a state of being driven by external forces rather than internal intention. Contrast this with a conscious, intentional beginning. While there's no rigid Stoic morning routine for everyone, historical figures like Marcus Aurelius used the quiet hours before dawn for reflection, journaling, and preparing his mind for the challenges of ruling the empire. He didn't immediately engage with the day's problems. He first grounded himself in his principles and clarified his purpose. Owning your morning is about creating a buffer zone between sleep and the onslaught of external demands. It's a dedicated period to cultivate internal calm, clarity, and intention before the world has a chance to pull you in a million directions. This doesn't require hours. Even a short period of conscious transition can make a significant difference. Starting your day proactively allows you to set your internal compass. It provides a moment to align with your values, focus on your priorities, and establish a state of mind that is more resilient to the day's inevitable disruptions. It shifts you from a state of reaction to one of deliberate action, giving you a sense of agency right from the start. 8. Build with visualization. The Stoics, like modern cognitive scientists, understood the power of the mind to shape our perception and prepare us for reality. While we often associate visualization with picturing positive outcomes, which can be useful, the Stoics also employed it in more profound ways, mentally rehearsing how to handle challenges and embodying desired virtues. If you consistently visualize potential failures or negative outcomes, your mind and body will prepare for that negative reality, increasing anxiety and reducing your capacity to cope. Conversely, if you mentally rehearse responding to difficulty with composure, resilience, and integrity, you build internal pathways for those desired responses, making them more accessible when needed. Consider the Stoic practice of premeditatio malorum, or the premeditation of evils. This involves mentally contemplating potential difficulties, setbacks, or losses, your possessions being lost, your health failing, relationships ending. The purpose is not to dwell in negativity, but to mentally prepare for these possibilities, reducing their power to shock and overwhelm you if they occur. By facing potential adversity in the theater of the mind, you realize that your essential self, your capacity for reason, virtue, and choice remains intact regardless of external circumstances. Visualization can also be used to internalize your values. Imagine yourself in a specific challenging situation and vividly picture yourself responding with patience, courage, wisdom, or justice. Mentally rehearse embodying the person you aspire to be. This form of visualization is not passive daydreaming, it's active mental training. It builds inner strength by preparing your mind for reality, both its potential hardships and its opportunities. It helps you internalize your principles and makes calm, virtuous responses more automatic when they are needed most. 9. Breathe and reset. Our breath is the most direct and immediate tool we have for influencing our physical and mental state. It is an undeniable link between the mind and the body. When we are stressed, anxious, or angry, our breathing becomes shallow and rapid, triggering the body's stress response. When we are calm and relaxed, our breathing is slower, deeper, and more rhythmic. While the ancient Stoics did not have a scientific understanding of the autonomic nervous system, they intuitively recognized the power of conscious breathing and stillness to cultivate inner peace. They practiced philosophical contemplation and exercises that involved quieting the body to still the mind. In moments of intense emotion or pressure, the ability to consciously regulate your breath is incredibly powerful. It interrupts the automatic stress response cycle. By deliberately slowing and deepening your breath, you send a signal of safety to your brain, activating the parasympathetic nervous system, which counters the fight or flight response. Think of it as an immediate reset button for your nervous system. When you feel overwhelmed, instead of getting lost in the rush of thoughts and emotions, you can anchor yourself in the physical reality of your breath. This simple act creates a crucial pause, giving you space to choose your response rather than being swept away by your initial reaction. Accessing calm doesn't require complex techniques or external aids in the moment of stress. Your breath is always with you, a powerful, portable tool for regaining composure and clarity whenever you need it most. 10. Seek quiet space. We live in an age of constant noise. The buzz of notifications, the hum of traffic, the endless stream of information from media and conversation. Even when external noise is absent, many of us are bombarded by the internal noise of our own thoughts, worries, plans, judgments, and replays of past events. We often fill every potential moment of silence with distraction because being alone with our thoughts can feel uncomfortable or even terrifying. But silence is not just the absence of sound, it is a space where something else can be heard. It is the necessary environment for introspection, reflection, and deep thinking. As Seneca noted, we often suffer more from the noise within our minds than from the noise around us. He advocated for periods of solitude, not as an escape from the world, but as a way to gather strength and return to it with greater clarity and resilience. In the constant rush and noise, our minds operate largely in a reactive mode, processing and responding to incoming stimuli. This prevents the deeper, more contemplative processes where insights form, problems are solved in novel ways, and we connect with our core values and intuition. Seeking quiet space is a deliberate act of disengaging from the external and internal clamor to allow your mind to settle. It's giving your brain the necessary downtime to process, organize, and restore itself. In this stillness, you can observe your thoughts and emotions without being consumed by them, gaining perspective and clarity that are impossible to find amidst the din. Embracing silence isn't easy in a world addicted to distraction, but it is essential for cultivating calm, fostering self-awareness, and accessing the deeper wisdom within. It is a gift you give yourself, the gift of presence and internal peace. 11. Use your hands. When the mind is overwhelmed, spinning with abstract worries or tangled complexities, one of the most effective antidotes is to anchor yourself in the physical world through purposeful manual activity. Engage your hands and you can quiet the storm in your head. Consider creative minds throughout history, from Leonardo da Vinci sketching endlessly in his notebooks to artisans shaping clay or wood. They understood that working with their hands wasn't just about creating external objects. It was a way of processing thought, finding clarity, and entering a state of focused presence. When their minds were full, the act of doing grounded them. The Stoics, while emphasizing intellectual and moral cultivation, also valued action and engagement with the world. They saw virtue expressed through deeds, not just thoughts. This principle extends to any physical task that requires focused attention and interaction with the tangible world. Engaging your hands in a concrete activity, gardening, cleaning, building, repairing, knitting, drawing, pulls your attention out of the abstract realm of worries and into the present moment. It requires a different kind of focus, one rooted in sensory input and physical manipulation. This shifts your mental energy from unproductive rumination to productive or mindful action. The repetitive nature of some manual tasks can be deeply calming, creating a state akin to meditation. Completing a physical task, however small, also provides a tangible sense of accomplishment and control, which can counteract feelings of powerlessness caused by abstract worries. Using your hands is a practical, accessible way to ground yourself, quiet the internal noise, and move from a state of anxious overthinking to one of focused, calm doing. It reminds you that you have the capacity to interact with and shape your immediate reality, offering a powerful antidote to mental chaos. Your step-by-step plan. Here is a simple, actionable plan to integrate these lessons into your daily life and begin cultivating the powerful calm that will guide you to success. Phase 1. The Daily Calm Foundation. Morning power. Before the day's demands begin, ideally within 15-30 minutes of waking, intentionally own your morning. Avoid screens. Instead, sit quietly or take a short, silent walk. Seek quiet space. While doing so, consciously think of 1-2 things you are genuinely grateful for. Practice gratitude first. Mentally state or write down your intention for the day. How do you choose to be today? E.g., patient, focused, present. This sets your internal compass. Breathe reset. Throughout your day, particularly when you feel stress rising or encounter a frustrating situation, consciously breathe and reset. Take 3 to 5 slow, deep breaths. Use the 4 to 7 or 8 or box breathing technique if helpful. This creates a vital pause before you react, allowing you to engage your higher reasoning. Focus on your sphere. When facing challenges or difficult interactions, identify what is within your control, your thoughts, attitude, effort, and what is not, other people's actions, external outcomes. Consciously redirect your focus and energy only to your sphere of influence. Control only yourself. Release the need to control the uncontrollable. Mindful attention checks. Several times a day, pause and ask, where is my attention right now? If it's focused on negative thoughts, past problems, or future worries, gently but firmly guide it back to the present task, your breath, or something constructive, where attention goes. Practice single tasking during focused work. Hands-on. Anchor. When feeling mentally scattered or overwhelmed by abstract thinking, engage in a simple physical activity that uses your hands for 10-15 minutes. Use your hands. This could be a mindful chore, washing dishes, tidying, a quick sketch, or working on a hobby craft. This grounds you in the present and quiets mental noise. Evening reflection and rest. Before sleep, take a few minutes to reflect. Recall 3 to 5 specific positive things, moments, or small wins from your day. Practice gratitude first. Briefly review challenging moments and consider how you applied or could apply the lesson of control only yourself. Ensure you are prioritizing adequate rest by having a consistent, calming bedtime routine. Phase 2. Deepening and strengthening. Weekly and ongoing. Train your thinking. Weekly. Set aside a short time each week, e.g., 15 minutes, to review recent situations that cause significant stress. For each, identify your automatic negative thoughts. Train your thinking. Question their validity and consciously practice reframing them into more balanced or helpful interpretations. Visualization practice. Weekly, incorporate a short visualization exercise into your routine. Build with visualization. This could be practicing negative visualization, contemplating losing something valued to foster appreciation and resilience, or mentally rehearsing yourself handling a typical challenge with composure and virtue. Extended quiet space, weekly. Dedicate a longer period each week, e.g., 30 to 60 minutes, for deeper silence and solitude. Seek quiet space. Take a longer silent walk, sit without any distractions, or spend time in a naturally quiet environment. Use this time for contemplation or simply restful presence. Embrace small challenges. Deliberately use minor daily frustrations, waiting in line, traffic, minor mistakes, as opportunities to consciously practice calm is your power. See these as low-stakes training sessions for maintaining composure. Observe your reactions without judgment. Continuous learning. Revisit these principles regularly. Read passages from Stoic texts or listen to discussions on these ideas. The journey of cultivating calm is ongoing. Stay curious and committed to understanding and applying these lessons more deeply. This plan is a blueprint. Start small, be patient with yourself, and focus on progress, not perfection. Some days will be easier than others. The goal isn't to eliminate stress or negative emotions entirely, but to build your capacity to navigate them with greater calm, clarity, and strength. If you liked this video and you want to support our new channel, please like this video, subscribe and push the notification bell so you don't miss our new videos.